And I kept fussing with the camera because I didn't think it was like low enough, and I was like, it's not even high enough. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I couldn't find. Oh, I just cock it up even. Oh, I didn't hit the table, guys. So I preemptively found the page that I was at last time, so we don't need to fuss around waiting to find the right page. You know what's weird? They wrote Stella on one of my cups, and a smile. I didn't ask them for that, but not the other. And they're both for me. Maybe they thought like, well, only one is going to be for you. No, both are for me. Oh, hey, Arthur. Hello. Let me see. So, what comments can I address before I get into it? I guess we could wait a little while for people to file in. I want it to be where you can see my crown. Oh, hey, Joel. Like, you guys didn't think I would be wearing my crown like every minute that I can. Hello. Like, I'll keep thinking like, oh, I'm gonna flash shoot. No, I'm not. I have seems like a lifetime. I was here last night. Well, I wasn't here. I was at the city hall near the library, but either which way I was. Oh, I know. I got a comment from my Thursday show, and someone said, "Oh, you should get a black Glock." Actually, I don't think I have a Glock. I have a black Colt 45, and you're right. Like all black guns. Wear some boots today. All black guns look so good, especially with like an all black outfit or whatever. And I don't have a Glock to say. You want to buy me a Glock? And then I do have everybody knows I love this. I love old guns, and I do have my black Luger. So yeah, I do have some all black guns, but I don't have an all black Glock though. So more things to buy, okay? You're beautiful stuff. Aw. That's because me and Pam are queens. What do you mean fireworks? Fireworks in Florida? Oh, I also I went to the 99-cent store. I think this was yesterday, and I got these. You know how I'm always wearing my black ones? Well, I got these now in red. How cute! And I also got. I think I showed you before, but like these cookies are so good. And the dogs love them. I know I'm not supposed to give them to the dogs, but YOLO for the dogs. Who else is here? Is everyone here? Yeah, you guys, you wouldn't imagine how hard, and it's hard to find where you're at because I don't go any further up because I don't want to spoil it for myself. You Stella, you ignored me. Oh, I didn't mean to. What did you say? What did I miss? You guys, I don't ignore anyone. Sometimes I miss people by accident, but I always go back. Stella, go wear some boots. Oh no, I did see that, but guys, it's late. It's late, and why can't I just be like barefoot? why can't you let a girl be barefoot at 7 o'clock at night? Okay. She doesn't take calls on reading night. I will take calls on reading night soon. I still don't have a phone yet. That's supposed to be at some point on Monday. I'm gonna get my phone because of course I broke my other phone, but I may start taking like a couple calls sometimes on reading nights if you want to comment on the book. But yeah, mostly my calling shows are Thursday because on other days I do try to get some reading in, although I'm a little bit distractible. What can I say? I got the barefoot pass. Thank you. Yeah, I just have pantyhose and I do have a new underwear which they do fit. So and that's how it is today. Oh, and I did get this dress at I got consignment type of thrift, but isn't that cute? I thought it would match this necklace pretty well. I got it 99 cents like a couple years ago, but seashell earrings. Okay, gonna need to. I'm gonna need to update the title. Be like outfit of the day / reading. All right, let's Yeah. And of course, I got my girl behind me. She's not going nowhere. Only one thing, don't break, Stella. I hate boots, man. And I was already asked today if I would put on boots, so not right now, okay? So for those that don't remember where we left off, he was going to go exploring in the sea. He was going to leave, and yeah, he didn't know. He took some stuff with him, some biscuits, and he was, yeah, I'm just gonna read over the last couple sentences of where I was, and maybe that will bring you all up to speed. Okay. Why am I wearing this pen like I'm gonna make notes? uh, Everything for the best, I say. I quieted my mind with this and left off. Why am I holding a cigarette? Like a cigarette? If that's how you do it. I've never smoked a cigarette, but so do you like playing dress up? I'm not playing dress up. This is how I dress. Does this look like a game to you? Why? What are you wearing? Was I playing dress up last night at the city hall? Okay. Um. Okay. Besides, after some pause upon this affair, I considered that. See, now Pam wants to know, what are you wearing? What is it? What is everybody wearing? um. I consider that if this land was the Spanish coast, I should certainly, one time or another, see some vessel pass or repass, one way or other. But if not, then it was the savage coast between the Spanish country and the Brazils, whose inhabitants are indeed the worst of savages, for they are cannibals or men eaters, and fail not to murder and devour all human beings that fall into their hands. See, remember where we were? Or remember where we were? With these considerations, walking very leisurely forward, I found this side of the island where I now was much pleasanter than mine, the open or savanna fields sweetly adorned with flowers and grass, and full of very fine woods. I saw abundance of parrots, and fain would have caught one if possible, to have kept it to be tame, and taught it to speak to me. I did, after taking some pains, catch a young parrot, for I knocked it down with a stick. What? Poor parrot. And having recovered it, I brought it home. But it was some years before I could make him speak. However, at least I taught him to call me by my name very familiarly. But the accident that followed, though it be a trifle, will be very diverting in its place. So, have any of you guys ever had a parrot or known someone that had a parrot? I don't think. I know that my grandmother had birds, but I don't believe she ever had a parrot. But the thing is, even non-parrot birds still talk. Like a lot of people like to say, "Oh, I like birds noises, birds singing or whatever," but they don't shut up. Like when they're awake, they like except for maybe owl. No, owl is like a hoo, 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 hoo. But yeah, like they won't shut up. They're gonna be heard and um I just don't know if I could have a parrot. Like, I'm sure, I don't know. Like, if I had a parrot right now in the background, like just sitting in a cage over there, like it would be wanting to talk. It would be like repeating lines of the story. You know, like it would be like, shut up. And you can't do it. First of all, not only should you not shoot it because it's wrong, but those shits are expensive. Like those, I don't know how much a parrot is, but I would imagine it's at least hundreds of dollars, not to mention the upkeep. I have a bird outside my window. I told him to be quiet. Yeah, but that's not a pet bird. I have relatives who have four parrots. That's a lot of parrots. Today I don't sell anything offensive. Okay, thanks. I think you got it wrong. Who asking questions like that? Yeah. You guys stop fighting. This is a get along only zone, okay? When you see the kitty, we get alongs, okay? All right. Anyway, he got himself a pet parrot. What's the difference between a parrot and a parakeet? I guess it's not parrot anyway. Um, okay. I never traveled on this journey above 2 miles outright in a day or thereabout, but I took so many turns and returns to see what discoveries I could make that I came weary enough to the place where I resolved to sit down for the night. And then I either reposed myself in a tree or surrounded myself with a row of stakes set upright in the ground, either from one tree to another, or so as no wild creature could come at me without waking me. As soon as I came to the seashore, I was surprised to see that I had taken up my lot on the worst side of the island, for here indeed the shore was covered with innumerable turtles, whereas on the other side I had found but three in a year and a half. And he likes to eat turtles, remember? I once had a goldfish when I was a kid. Joel, a goldfish does not count as a parrot. I'm pretty sure the parrot would eat the goldfish, right? No, or do parrots just eat like nuts and seeds and worms? I think birds like to eat like bird food. I know some people that like they're into like really like carnivore like type diets, and they would say like about like vegan stuff like that's for birds. That's bird food. That's a bird seed. Like talking about like granola and stuff. Anyway, so maybe they let the goldfish live. A cat would probably eat the goldfish though. uh, did you get it at a fair, like in a bag? So, anyway, sorry. um, ooh, this is interesting. Okay, so um, here also an infinite number of fowls of many kinds, some of which I had seen and some of which I had not seen before, and many of them very good meat, but such as I knew not the names of, except those called penguins. How are there penguins? How are there penguins? I saw a pigeon with no feet under the water puddle thing. That's yeah. I hate to see like animals suffering. I don't know. I just like it bothers me. I hate to see anyone suffering, to be honest. Okay. I could have shot as many as I pleased, but was very sparing of my powder and shot, and therefore had more mind to kill. Oh my God, you guys! I just remembered the one of the thrifts I was at yesterday. It had taxidermy, like a bunch, and I filmed it. Okay, I filmed it for you guys, so I'm gonna try to put the clip up like between tonight and tomorrow, probably tomorrow. It's so cool, like big ones with the horns, like really like the cool horns, like. Oh, I would have loved one. And then they had rugs. Anyway, I was just thinking like some of these animals, maybe he could kill them for more um, like decoration. I don't know. You guys ever see any like really cool taxidermy? Kind of awesome. They preserve them really well. I like to think that they were like just on the verge of dying though, and I hate to see one that someone just killed just for decoration. They were like $1,700 some of them, but they were like half off. So hey Boris, hey Henry, hey. I saw a giraffe taxidermy. Oh, that's sad too. I would love to see a giraffe before I die. Not like right before I die and then die, but just like eventually, you know. Anyway, I could have shot as many as I pleased. Oh, yeah, I was already there. Oh, okay. So, and therefore had more mind to kill a she goat if I could, which I could better feed on. But though there were many goats here, more than on my side of the island, yet it was with much more difficulty that I could come near them, the country being flat and even. So what? Okay. Oh, okay. Because he likes to like creep on them from above. I think. So if it's flat, they're like, I see you, motherfucker. They're a little hunting tips, I suppose, for you. Okay. I confess, this side of the country was much pleasanter than mine. Yet I had not the least inclination to remove, for as I was fixed in my habitation, it became natural to me, and I seemed all the while I was here to be, as it were, upon a journey and from home. However, I traveled along the seashore towards the east, I suppose about 12 miles, and then go home, and then setting up a great pole under the shore for a mark, I concluded I would go home again, and that the next journey I took should be on the other side of the island, east from my dwelling, and so round till I came to my post again, of which in its place. So I guess he's saying like I basically he worked his ass off building his little fort. That he's like, this is probably a better place to live, but kind of like a sunk cost fallacy. Like I'm just gonna go back there and you know leave these goats behind or whatever. Okay, so I took another way to come back then I went, thinking I could easily keep so much of the island in my view that I could not miss my first dwelling by viewing the country. But I found myself mistaken. For being come about 2 or 3 miles, I found myself descended into a very large valley, but so surrounded with hills, and those hills covered with wood, that I could not see which was my way by any direction but that of the sun, nor even then, unless I knew very well the position of the sun at that time of the day. And it happened to be my further misfortune that the weather proved hazy for 3 or 4 days while I was in this valley, and not being able to see the sun, I wandered about very uncomfortable, and at last was obliged to find out the seaside, look for my post, and come back the same way I went. And then by easy journeys I turned homeward, the weather being exceeding hot, and my gun, ammunition, hatchet, and other things very heavy. In this journey, my dog surprised a young kid and seized upon it. That means I think a little goat and seized upon it. And running to take hold of it, I caught it and saved it alive from the musing, whether it might not be possible to get a kid or two, and so raise a breed of tame goats, which might supply me when my powder and shot would be all spent. I made a collar for this little creature, and with a string which I had made some rope yarn, which I always carried about me, I led him along through with though with some difficulty till I came to my bower, and then I enclosed him and left him, for I was very impatient to be home from whence I had been absent above a month. So he was gone a month? That is in that is an awful long time to be about an island. Stella. That's far too many A's in my name. You only need one. Two L's though. Extra sexy if that's possible. Ooh, you're looking sexy yourself. I mean, that um, that's what my sister used to do. Okay, what else? Hey, Jim. Okay, I saw a drop at the zoo once. Okay, thanks for bragging. Okay, so he's back home, I think, right? I cannot express what a satisfaction it was to me to come into my old hutch and lie. Miss me? Yeah, sure. I miss everybody when they're gone, but yes, I missed you especially. Did you miss me though? Uh, okay, so and lie down in my hammock bed. Well, hammock beds are pretty nice. I have them on Big Brother. I don't actually. I say that I don't think I've ever lied in a hammock. I've kind of wanted to, but every time I've had like a near hammock experience, somebody was in the hammock. Like I would see it, and it would be at like wherever, like a vacation. And it's like when that person's done, I'm going on that hammock, and then I never got an opportunity. So if you guys have a hammock, you could let me borrow. I would be so grateful. Very, very much. Thank you. Don't burn yourself. Okay, so we on a hammock. This little wandering journey without a settled place of abode had been so unpleasant to me that my own house, as I called it to myself, was a perfect settlement to me compared to that, and it rendered everything about me so comfortable that I resolved I would never go a great way from it again, while it should be my lot to stay on the island. I reposed myself here a week to rest and regale myself after my long journey, during which most of the time was taken up in the weighty affair of making a cage for my pole, which began now to be more domestic. And I guess that's his parrot. Uh, and to be mighty well, no, maybe it's the Shiko, and mighty well acquainted with me. Then I began to think of the poor kid, which I had penned with my little circle, and resolved to fetch it home. So he's got so much crap. He's got a go, at least one go. He's got well, every time he finds a cat, he eats it. He's got a parrot, and he's got at least one dog. How many animals does this guy need? Okay. Okay. Uh, okay. So, according I went and found it where I left it, for indeed it could not get out, but was almost starved for want of food. I went and cut boughs of trees and branches of such shrubs as I could find, and threw it over. And having fed it, I tied it as I did before to lead it away. But it was so tame with being hungry that I had no need to have tied it, for it followed me like a dog. And as I continually fed it, the creature became so loving, so gentle, and so fond that it was from that time one of my domestics also, and would never leave me afterwards. The rainy season of the autumnal equinox was now come, and I kept the 30th of September in the same solid manner as before, being the anniversary of my landing on the island, having now been there 2 years, and no more prospect of being delivered than the first day I came there. I spent the whole day in humble and thankful acknowledgment for many wonderful mercies which my solitary condition was attended with, and without which it might have been infinitely more miserable. I gave humble and hearty thanks to God for having been pleased to discover to me that it was possible I might be more happy even in this solitary condition than I should have been in the enjoyment of society and in all the pleasures of the world. And he could fully make up to me the deficiencies of my solitary state and the want of human society by his presence and the communications of his grace to my soul, supporting, comforting, and encouraging me to depend upon his providence here and to hope for his eternal presence hereafter. Is he high? Is he high? Now I was like, you know what? Being on this shitty island, it's all right. You know what? I'm not. You know, I'm almost better off here, dying alone with a goat, with a pet goat. He doesn't believe that, but it. But at least he's not completely miserable any longer. Like, woe is me. It's good to find gratitude in things. I'm grateful Starbucks is open again. Pantyhose Queen on her royal throne. My birthday is in 3 weeks, man. Months go by fast. Yeah, celebration. Come on. Okay, so he's very happy to be on the island. He is very grateful, man. Okay, even though he's been there for 2 years. It was now that I began sensibly to feel how much more happy the life I now led was. Oh, sure. With all its miserable circumstances, than the wicked, cursed, abominable life I led all the past part of my days. Good thing he wasn't alive in 2020, hey? And now I change both my sorrows and my joys. My very desires altered. My affections changed their gusts, and my delights were perfectly new from what they were at my first coming, or indeed for the 2 years past before, as I walked about either on my hunting or for viewing the country. The anguish of my soul at the condition, we're good, we're good, we're good, we're good. At the condition, okay, would break out upon me on a sudden, and my heart would die within me to think of the woods, the mountains, the deserts I was in, and how I was a prisoner, locked up with the internal bars and bolts of the ocean, and an uninhabited wilderness without redemption. In the midst of the greatest composures of my mind, this would break out upon me like a storm and make me wring my hands and weep like a child. Sometimes it would take me in the middle of my work and would immediately sit down and sigh and look upon the ground for an hour or two together. This was still worse to me, but if I could burst into tears or give vent to my feelings by words, it would go off and my grief being exhausted would abate. But now began to exercise myself with new thoughts. I daily, sorry, sorry, I'm just like whenever I get a flash up on the screen, I get nervous because they do take my streams down more often, and not my favorite thing. My favorite thing is probably iced coffee, not losing my stream. Very clean stuff. Thank you. You're so nice. Okay. So, but now I began to exercise myself with new thoughts. I daily read the Word of God and applied all of the comforts of it to my present state. One morning, being very sad, I opened the Bible upon these words: I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. Immediately it occurred that these words were to me. Why else should they be directed in such a manner, just at the moment when I was mourning over my condition, as one forsaken of God and man? Well, then, said I, if God does not forsake me, of what ill consequences can it be, or what matters it, though the world should forsake me? Seeing, on the other hand, if I had all the world and should lose the favor and blessing of God, there would be no comparison for in the loss. From this moment, I began to conclude in my mind that it was possible for me to be more happy in this forsaken, solitary condition than it was probable I should ever have been in any other particular state of the world. And with this thought, I was going to give thanks to God for bringing me to this place. I know not what it was, but something shocked my mind at that thought, and I durst not speak the words. How canst thou be such a hypocrite, said I, even audibly, to pretend to be thankful for a condition which, however thou mayest endeavor to be contented with, thou wouldest. Why do you have to talk like this? Thou wouldest rather pray heartily to be delivered from. Here I stopped, and though I could not say I thank God for being here, yet I sincerely gave thanks to God for opening my eyes, and by whatever afflicting providences to see the former condition of my life and to mourn for my wickedness and repent. I never opened the Bible or shut it, but my very soul within me blessed God for directing my friend in England without any order of mine to pack it up among my goods and for assisting me afterwards to save it out of the wreck of the ship. Thus, and in this disposition of mind, I began my third year, and though I have not given the reader the trouble of so particularly an account of my words this year, as the first, yet in general it may be observed that I was very seldom idle, but having regularly divided my time according to the several daily employments that were before me, such as first my duty to God and the reading of the scriptures, which I constantly set apart some time for, thrice every day. Secondly, oh God, I don't want to lose my ground. So, oh my God. So, okay, so he's praying 3 times a day, and he's acting like this is his job. But like, don't Muslims pray like 7 times a day? They don't ask for a trophy. You're missing some fancy shoes. How do you feel about distant relationships? How do I feel? I don't know. I don't have any. I don't even have a. Or I don't even have a relationship with anyone. A man in China. I don't have a relationship with somebody on the moon in a space rocket. I just have this cat. You're missing. Okay, I was already there. Sorry. Okay, so which wait. Oh, yeah, I'll find it. Oh, here we go. Going abroad with my gun for food, which generally took me up 3 hours every morning when it did not rain. Thirdly, ordering, curing, preserving, and cooking when I had killed or catch for my supply. These took up a great part of the day. It is to be considered that in the middle of the day, when the sun was in the zenith, the violence of the heat was too great to stir out. So that about 4 hours in the evening was all the time I could be supposed to work in, with this exception, that sometimes I changed my hours of hunting and working and went to work in the morning and abroad with my gun in the afternoon. To this short time allowed for labor, I desire may be added the exceeding laboriousness of my work, and the many hours which, for want of tools, want of help, and want of skill, everything I did took up out of my time. For example, I was full 42 days making me a board for a long shelf, which I wanted in my cave, whereas two sawers with their tools and saw pit would have cut 6 of them out of the same tree in half a day. My case, what? Hello, darling. Hello, darling. You are people. I guess you answered your question. I believe so. What is that? What? So basically, he's like, I have to do all this work, but like this, if I had the right tools and stuff, this would take a lot less time. I can say I never had a long distance relationship, but I heard it is sometimes hard to keep a relationship long distance for a long time. But I mean, like you guys know, I was like talking to someone on the phone recently, and I thought that they really liked me. They even said that like they considered me like their family. And then like the last time I talked to them, they said, like I don't need to talk to you. Like just not talking to you. It's like there are plenty of fish. Like they were like I wasn't really bothered. Like whatever, it's fine. Like it was just like how could I be part of your family? And like then that's how you know what I mean. Like it just felt so fake. Like yeah, and then that was it. And that was only like a few weeks that I was talking on the phone with them, and that's it. So and now I'm not talking to anyone. And before that, no one. So You can have a long distance relationship and people don't lie. He was a manipulative bastard. Don't say that. Don't curse. What he was confused. I don't know. Anyway, let's not talk about sad things. AJ, how do you feel about long distance relationships? Are you asking me that because you live next door, or because you live in Germany? Okay. Ohio. Well, I was close. Ohio seems nice. I was thinking about Ohio the other day for something. What was it? It'll come to me. Probably like some celebrity that was like from Ohio. I don't know. What is that? I'm crazy about Stella. Okay. But I don't know what that emoji is. Is it flowers? I'm sorry, guys. You want to hear the book? And I just my case was this. It was a large tree that was that was to be cut down because my board was to be a broad one. This tree I was 3 days cutting down and two more in cutting off the boughs and reducing it to a log or piece of timber. With inexpressible hacking and hewing, I reduced both the sides of it into chips till it was light enough to move, and then I turned it and made one side of it smooth and flat as a board from end to end, and then turning that side downward, cut the other side till I brought the plank to be about 3 inches thick and smooth on both sides. Anyone may judge the labor of my hands in such a piece of work, but labor and patience carried me through that and many other things. I only observe this in particular to show the reason why so much of my time went away with so little work, viz., that what might be a little to be done with help and tools was a vast labor and required a prodigious, prodigious time to do alone and by hand. Notwithstanding this, with patience and labor, I went through many things, and indeed everything that my circumstances made necessary for me to do, as what will appear by what follows. I was now in the months of November and December, expecting my crop of barley and rice. The ground I had manured or dug up for them was not great, for as I observed, my seed of each was not above the quantity of half a peck, having lost one whole crop by sowing in the dry season. But now my crop promised very well, when on a sudden I found I was in danger of losing it all again by enemies of several sorts, which it was scarce possible to keep from it. At first, the goats and wild creatures, which I called hares, who tasted the sweetness of the blade, lay in it night and day as soon as it came up, and ate it so close that it could get no time to shoot up and to stop. I saw no remedy for this, but by making an enclosure about it with a hedge, which I did with a great deal of toil, and the more because it required speed. However, my arable land was but small, suited to my crop. So now the rabbits are going wild. How are we doing? How are we doing here? Okay, where was I? I don't even know. Just give me a minute, okay? Give me a minute, okay? What is that? Oh, okay. This is the truth. Uh, here are like family 1000%. Yes, we are. We are a family, little family here. I know. I talk to you guys more than my own family. And you guys probably know me better because you hear me all the time. Oh, hey, Roger. Ohio. I don't remember what it was. It was Ohio. If I put my hair up, will I look like more of a queen or less of a queen? Who knows, really? Probably less because I have these pins here. Queen styles. You know what it is? It's the what? Wait, if I eat these cookies, will I look like more of a queen or less? More. I'm trying to have a pony. I should let it down more, huh? Yeah, maybe like that one. All right, let's see. There we go. Little pony here. Then take it down the side. Sorry. Girl, what are you doing? Girl, what are you doing? Sorry. Sorry. You know what? Let me see. Is that? What do we think? Horrible. Horrible. Love your earrings. Because you know what? Because they're seashells. Because I do like the beach. Is the family all here? Are we all here? We all ready? Trying to see how much I think we got a lot done already. Uh-oh. Was I? No, we've got 2 pages. What? I feel like I'm reading slower tonight because my throat maybe. I mean, it feels fine, but like if she like maybe it's just a little slower. Okay. But maybe it's just as well. 2 hours before my shift ends. All right, Pam. See, Pam's got time. We got time. Let's keep going. So, never mind. Resourcefulness. Okay. Okay. I was now in. Okay. Oh, okay. So the rabbits were going crazy, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I saw no remedy for this, but by making an enclosure about it with a hedge, which I did with a great deal of toil, and the more because it required speed. However, as my arable land was but small, suited to my crop, I got tolerably well fenced in about 3 weeks' time, and shooting some other creatures in the daytime, I set my dog to guard it in the night, tying him up to a stake at the gate, where he would stand and bark all night long. So in a little time the enemies forsook the place, and the corn grew very strong and well. While my corn was in the blade, so the birds were as likely to ruin me now when it was in the ear. For going along by the place and to see how it throve, I saw my little crop surrounded with fowls I know not of how many sorts, who stood, as it were, watching till I should be gone. I immediately let fly among them, for I always had my gun with me. I had no sooner shot, but there rose up a little cloud of fowls, which I had not seen at all, from among the corn itself. This touched me sensibly, for I foresaw that in a few days they would devour all my hopes, that I should be starved and never be able to raise a crop at all. And what to do I could not tell. However, I resolved not to lose my corn, if possible, though I should watch it night and day in the first place. I went along among it to see what damage was already done, and found they had spoiled a good deal of it, but that it was yet too green for them. The loss was not so great, but that the remainder was likely to be a good crop if it could be saved. But okay, so I stayed by it to load my gun, and then coming away, I could easily see the thieves sitting upon all the trees about me, as if they only waited till I was gone away. And the event proved to be so. For as I walked off, as if gone, I was no sooner out of their sight than they dropped down one by one into the corn again. I was so provoked that I could not have patience to stay till more came on to me in the consequence. So coming up to the hedge, I fired again and killed three of them. This was what I wished for, so I took them up and served them as we serve notorious thieves in England, viz., I hanged them in chains for terror to others. It is impossible to imagine that this should have such an effect as it had, for the fowls not only never came to the corn, but in short, they forsook all that part of the island, and I could never see a bird near the place as long as my scarecrows hung there. This I was very glad of, you may be sure. And about the latter end of December, which was our second harvest of the year, I reaped my corn. I need to buy donuts for me. Donuts. I just had a couple days ago. Okay. So he hung up his bird so you're like, see what'll happen to you? like firing a warning shot, I guess. Okay. I was sadly put to it for a scythe or sickle to cut it down, and all I could do was to make one as well as I could out of the broadswords or cutlasses, which I saved among the arms out of the ship. However, as my first crop was but small, I had no great difficulty to cut it down. In short, I reaped it my way, for I cut nothing off but the ears, and carried it away in a great basket which I had made, and so rubbed it out with my hands. And at the end of all my harvesting, I found that out of my half peck of seed, I had near 2 bushels of rice, and above 2 bushels and a half of barley. That is to say, by my guess, for I had no measure. However, this was great encouragement to me, and I foresaw that in time it would please God to supply me with bread. And yet here I was perplexed again, for I neither knew how to grind or make meal of my corn, or indeed how to clean it and part it, nor if I made it into meal, how to make bread of it, and if how to make it, yet knew not how to bake it. These things being added to my desire of having good quantity for store and to secure a constant supply, I resolved not to taste any of this crop, but to preserve it for seed against the next season, and in the meantime to employ all my study and hours of working to accomplish this great work of providing myself with corn and bread. Okay, so Do any of y'all know how to make bread? I'm guessing Pam, because she seems like you have boys and boys like bread. You need yeast, right? You need, yeah, you need yeast, right? And I don't know where yeast comes from. Obviously, you need fire, but you can do that. Just like, you know. I don't think you need eggs, but you need something, an agent to run. You don't know how to make. Who knows how to make bread? Do we got any cooks out there? Who out here has ever made bread? I've never made bread. You can go to the store and buy bread for $1. I don't need to make bread. I'm just trying to help a guy out. I mean, no, I don't make it. Hey, Eggman, do you make bread? Hey, you guys, Eggman is doing a tour of his house. I only saw like his gym and his washroom so far, but it's kind of funny. He's doing it room by room. I just did it all at once. I never made bread. All right, bread makers, where are you at? I don't have that many bread makers in my audience. Joel never made bread. Have any of you even made a box of cake or brownies? A chocolate chip cookie from Pillsbury? Or you just like eat it? This is welcome to America. If you go to like any like other country, they're probably like, yeah, we make bread all the time. I don't cook very good. Me neither, Roger. Hey, Roger. You want a cookie? You want a cookie? For us non-cooks, you know what Roger knows how to make? Reservations. Or he used to before the corona. Now he probably forgot like everyone else. I make cookies and brownies. Yeah, out of a box. Has Betty Crocker not taught you anything? I can bake a cake. I have before. See? A little egg. Anyway, he wants to make bread. It might be truly said that now I work for my bread. See, at least he hasn't lost a sense of humor. It is a little wonderful, and what I believe few people have thought much upon, viz. The strange multitude of little things necessary in the providing, producing, curing, dressing, making, and finishing this one article of bread. I, that was reduced to a mere state of nature, found this to my daily discouragement, and was made more sensible of it every hour, even after I had got the first handful of seed corn, which, as I have said, came up unexpectedly and indeed to a surprise. At first, I had no plow to turn up the earth, no spade to shovel to dig it. Well, this I conquered by making a wooden spade, as I observed before, but this did my work in but a wooden manner. And though it cost me a great many days to make it, yet for want of iron, it did not only wore out the sooner, but made my work the harder, and performed it much worse. However, this I bore with, and was content to work it out with patience, and bear with the badness of the performance. When the corn was sown, I had no harrow, but was forced to go over it myself and drag a heavy bough of tree over it, to scratch it, as it may be called, rather than to rake or harrow it. When it was growing and grown, I have observed already how many things I wanted to fence it, secure it, mow it or reap it, cure it and carry it home, fresh, part it from the chaff and save it. Then I wanted to mill it, to grind it, sieves to dress it, yeast and salt it, make it to bread, and an oven to bake it. And yet all these things I did without, as shall be observed, and the corn was an inestimable comfort and advantage to me. All this, as I said, made everything laborious and tedious to me, because as I had divided it, a certain part of it was every day appointed to these works. And as I resolved to use none of the corn for bread, till I had a greater quantity by me, I had the next 6 months to apply myself wholly by labor, invention, and furnish myself with utensils proper for the performing all the operations necessary for making corn fit for my use. So he takes 6 months to make bread. You ever go to a restaurant and you order some bread and they bring it out 6 months later? You would be getting a 1 star on Yelp for that shit. Is Yelp still around? TripAdvisor? Who's the one with the lady? Like, whoever's Angie's List? Like, I ordered some bread. Like, yeah, it was good, but it took 6 fucking months. I made brownies in high school. Did you sell them at the bake sale? So you wear white boots again? Sure, I have white boots. I have, I don't know. They get dirty usually, but I do. I think I have some cowboy boots. I was gonna buy some more right before the Corona, and then they sold them. You know what? I'll keep you in mind. I'll order some. Okay. This might be a good place to stop. It's the beginning of another chapter. Besides, we're getting a little late, but what do you think? Did you enjoy that? Did you have fun? You're gonna be negative, the no answer. I made chocolate lover cookies. Did you make them or did you just buy them? My sister, she can bake. Like, she can really bake. My older sister, she's great. My mother likes to make concoctions and invent things. And like every time I would visit her, she always has like some new thing like she created. And I'm always down to try it because like I I like to eat, Like she'll be like, it's like some peanut butter. Like the last time I was there with like some like peanut butter pie thing, and like nobody else would even try. I'm like, that's good. I just like sat on the bed watching America's Got Talent or like a pie here, and I'm just like, it's good. I'll eat it. I always have lots of fun on your live stream. Oh, thank you. I had a good time tonight. Thank you, Joel. Well, I'll be back tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Sunday. Sunday night. And I was almost on Monday. So yeah. I hope you all have lovely dreams. I hope that you enjoy your day and have um, gratitude. And if he can be happy being on that shitty island with 6 months to make bread, then you can too, huh? Is Pam still here? You too. Oh, thanks, Roger. Well, good night, Pam. I know you're working hard. I love you.